The phrase, "you're dead to me," seems very evocative. As far as I know, it is usually interpreted as a sign of indifference, while being its perfect opposite. The recipient of it has to face eviction from the head of the speaker. He finds himself quite directly faced with there no longer being any space for him, being replaced by the space after. This loomed over his head for a while, even if implicitly, and now he watches himself become excorporated. It is intriguing to me how usually the dead get summoned with no permission by the free flow of neurons in the brain, implying the surge or despair. "They're gone," we say, and haphazardly search the area. Or, "Oh, they are gone," says the silhouette slouched in the chair, crying tears clasped by hands covering the face. By telling someone they are dead to us, it is not organic death that we want, that would tie us together forever. Rather, what we wish for is the leaving separation, dispensing of the need of further interaction. Something excruciatingly more complex after the person has died, especially when cultural influence gets involved. The barrier, some kind of waiting room between the end of the relationship and the ultimate effacement of the tracks from memory. If this barrier is infringed often enough, gains privilege of familiarity. Haunted by memories of the other who left, a remaining individual still seeks presence, just as they do in organic death of a close one. The song, once so dear, loses the place held in the world altogether, or gets locked from the outside in the past. It is denied access to the present. It was ours, just like a park, TV series, and favorite snack, all become infested with the lack of presence, or presence of the lack. However, the lament of those who died in these cases never seems to be heard. Makes sense, since the deceased is what they are. The panacea for death or lift to the underworld has not been invented yet, and so they are muted. Sometimes open their mouths, but just to speak the words of those who remained and wished to voice them. The more ambiguous the nature of the relationship with life and death becomes, the more captivating the stay in the said waiting room becomes. You raise your gaze from above the book, read to kill the time and catch a glimpse of yourself, disappearing from the seat next to a person to whom you once were very much close. When making someone dead to us, leaving the shore of one's idyllic land, soil is prepared for establishing a cult. The glorification of the prolonged human-to-human interaction, which, having immediately come to an end, wilted completely and cannot sustain the participant in its original form. It must evolve, that is, both perish and become in the form of the divine at the same time, in a superposition. Perhaps, while oblivious to it, you yourself haunt the head of the other person, move their cups around, arrange photos in the digital album, force neurons in their brain to play the song that well up. In this case, the impression of you does the work independent of the will of its original source, becomes someone separate, the other. It soaks the soil, nurturing seeds of fictive reality, preserving the existence of the dead through gestures, internalization of features and dreams, or in silence. Perhaps the silence, the breach in time and thought, is far more detectable as presence than anything material or elicited. The continuation swiftly strives forward, does not need to comply with paradoxes, exhales and relocates springly to pass forward as many messages as it can bear. There are as well murders purely accidental, everyday and innocent, people that once connected with you on a trail. They may not haunt you, but there is no way for you to account for the deeds of the ghosts of you that indeed haunt them. How could you possibly know? You, yourself seated in the waiting room.